Ambiguous speech and translation. Israeli news reports speculated, inaccurately or accurately, that 400 Israelis were believed to have been near the World Trade Center and Pentagon on the attacks day. The headline, in some cases, was written out or translated to "Hundreds of Israelis missing in World Trade Center attack." Now, a normal person would hear that and say, oh, that means they're missing, presumed dead. Instead, they never showed up because they were missing from town because they had forewarning. Before anybody starts screaming in caps lock and saying, I'm not anti-Semitic, I just hate Jews. The number of Jews killed in the attack is out at 10% of the population dead. The general population in New York area was 9% Jew, which means you were slightly more likely to die in the World Trade Center attacks if you were Jewish, statistically speaking, by a very tiny amount. But anyway, after Israeli news and several others speculated with the number 4,000, which I'm going to use in the YouTube video title, which will, of course, give somebody at Google a reason to flag the account when I'm contradicting a conspiracy theory. You see people saying that people stayed home from work on 9/11. No, not people. The propaganda is Jews stayed home from work on September 11th when somehow they still ended up being a slightly higher population impact. It's not people, it was Jews. Stop that. Someone posted that today. No, it's based on blaming. When it comes to World Trade Center or any other conspiracy theory, all you have to do is just look a little ways and find the original comment long ago where someone said Jews, somehow. But anyway, where did the claim that they stayed home from work and wink, wink, nudge, nudge, we all know what that is. Syria's Thawra propaganda newspaper and Hezbollah favorite. Russia's Pravda, because Russia has decided to become intensely aggravating towards fanning the flames of anti-Semitism for a long time, because literally Russia does that shit. They say one thing and do another, okay? And pro-Palestine Manar also said the same thing. Why would they bother doing that? Except for Russia, all of these are based on them being based out of countries and cultures and societies that are overtly state religion based, and it's based on Islam. And within a very short time, the United States started blaming Muslims for the attack because there was good intel on it at one point. No, we have to exonerate the one hardcore belief system on the planet that involves attacking lots of people, lots of places, including literally the word jihad, holy war, or struggle. Israel has pissed off the Middle East for a long time by existing. Jewish people existing next door neighbor type to somebody in the United States will piss off at least one person. The United States had an overtly hate and maybe love relationship with Jewish people. Any population that chooses to stay as an individual self-identified group is hated by Americans in general. If you're part of an Asian community in your city, you will find at least one absolute bastard in the United States or another that's a bigot that doesn't like that because that seems un-American to them. These are also the kind of people who yell at somebody with a full-on Texas accent who happens to be Asian and has lived in Texas his entire life because they came over literally 100 years ago and became part of the Texas population to go back to their home. Or the best one I've seen this week, some really lousy, filthy Karen yelled at some Native Americans to go back to their home country. At which point they not only laughed, they just walked up to her and wanted posing with her. Like, no, you're a rare species of stupid. We want a selfie. Every country's got this shit going on. It's not just Islamic fundamentalists in some other country, and it's not just Americans. And by the way, there's a majority of Islamics that don't want to pick fights like that. They do not want to do that. They want peace. There are actually moderate Muslims that exist. But one of the nasty things you find, and this is something I'm just going to get to the point of, is you find it's not anti-Semitism, it's neo-Nazism that you find really boiling just under the surface, like pus, with conspiracy theorists. They will literally invoke Jews did it about something eventually. They can't help themselves. Now, I'm going to admit, I grew up in a neighborhood when I was younger. We're out in the middle of a desert. We have no reason to have any of this shit going on, right? It's a ranch neighborhood, ranch land. But you can find people who decided to make the boogeyman out of Jewish people because they have to be the boogeyman. They're people who won't let go of this, even though it doesn't make any fucking sense. And more importantly, it marks you as not being a racist or anti-Semite or a bigot or a Nazi. It marks you as being intellectually subordinate to every other thing, not just humans on this planet, that you keep dragging in your fixation favorite conspiracy theory thing. And I'm going to throw everybody else into the bus. Everybody has one group or another they throw into the bus. I don't like Islamic fundamentalists that are given power. But then again, I don't like Christian fundamentalists who are given power either. Especially when you run into ones that will tell you, if they know they're not being recorded, that they want to cause the end of the world by literally bringing about the coming of the Antichrist so that Jesus will show up. No, I'm not shitting you. That is a subculture within supposed Christianity. Thankfully, there's like 5 of them in the entire state right now, but still they exist. That's kind of sad. Not terrifying, just sad. But let's not sugarcoat this. If you make up any conspiracy theory, or you ever repost it, and you don't dig into it to make sure it isn't somebody trying to use it as a way to wedge in Jews did it, you're a fool. Always assume that. Space aliens, Jews did it. Jews in space. It's a Mel Brooks joke. You ever wonder why Mel Brooks and lots of other comedians, he was apparently Jewish, but we don't know, right? Would invoke this joke about, I'll just blame the Jews, blame Obama, blame Canada. These are jokes about people looking for scapegoats. And also I'd like to add in, don't blame all conservatives and all Christians either. Even I get caught up into that crap. I'm an asshole sometimes about that, and I do apologize. I'll try not to. It's not you or everybody out there. It's just that one jerk over there making everybody else look like shit. But truthers are absolutely notorious for sugarcoating this kind of crap. And it's one of the few things I will refuse to let you post your comment over overtly. If it's covert, I will correct you. By the way, I posted a comment under someone's comment today that sounds a little bit like that. That it sounds like I'm commenting. It's not you. It's the last 80 people who did the same thing in some hidden way. The latest one here is that I was actually going to look up the origin story for it. And dead ass, the origin story for it is a news report that brought sympathy to people in Israel. And the first reactionary knee-jerk reaction is that people who hate Israel have to twist it. And again, the headline was, hundreds of Israelis are missing in the World Trade Center attack. Somehow got interpreted to, where are they? Are they hiding? They knew something. And I'd like to invoke the Jews and shoes meme of a Islamic fundamentalist just nutcase who insists on talking about how Mossad, aka all the Jews in town, because everybody's somehow Mossad. By the way, that's a code word for hating Jews too. Stop it. Yes, Mossad can do some evil shit. Yeah, I know that. But normal people just say Mossad when they don't want to say Jew. He said Mossad broke into his house to steal one of his slippers. And then even though he found it later, he said that they put it back to make him look stupid or crazy. And if he's watching, you don't need their help. They don't care to do that. You make yourself stupid and crazy. And that's the other thing I want to point out. If someone says, oh, you're just going to call me an anti-Semite. No, if you're going to behave like one, you are. And it's not anti-Semite. You're an idiot. You're worse. The only thing worse than a Nazi or an anti-Semite or a bigot or a racist is a dumb one. Not because they're dumb, really, but because dumb people who believe something are even worse as far as their effect on society. They dumb down the population. They won't let go of shit. Smart Nazis and smart racists know for a fact that they're lying about what they say. Stupid people dead ass believe it. Bigots only are bigoted towards one group or another because they want someone to pick on. I'm not kidding about this, because I've had to deal with people who are members of the KKK at one point and Nazis. I'm not kidding. You run into them once in a while. None of them believe any of the shit they're talking about. If they have any brains at all, they know that they're just saying shit because they want to. And anti-Semites, as you want to call them, basically bring up the subject to try to start divisions in groups. Even if there isn't any Jews in the neighborhood, they'll just say that guy looks Jewish and then try to start arguments. They try to get people at each other's throats. The people who talk about a race war, whenever you see them on the internet, are doing it because they want one, because they don't want to get out and do it themselves. They want people to fight each other. And I'm sorry, but Antifa and BLM and all this other shit going on right now, it's not really Antifa mostly, are really contributing to that. And the people who fake being part of the protest groups, which have been caught, a few of them, yeah, dead ass, they're trying to create a race war because they want that to happen. It's like religious people who really do want the second coming, not of Christ, but the coming of the Antichrist, because that will herald the end, because they want to see everybody else exterminated. That's real. That's real shit with these people. Kind of fucked up, kind of counterproductive. There are people out there who don't give a shit if you and I live or die. That's it. And they also don't give a fuck about whether or not they're saying something that's true ever. Don't ever assume that they would encumber themselves by giving a shit even if they believe what they say. But when it comes to this subject here, it's gotten to the point that it's not a dog whistle or anything. It is literally dead ass something that is a giant go-no-go test. And everybody falls victim to this crap because you think, well, maybe that could be real. And then you find out, literally, it was someone reading perfectly clear, headline that they after a bunch of buildings fell down, there were a bunch of people missing, and some of them were Jewish. Anyway, the number of Jewish people that died that day is slightly higher than the population density for them in the area. So they were more likely, not less likely, to die. So since that was what was posted, or that it was about the same percentage, and that it could have been up to 4,000 people, they didn't know, in the combined both locations, potentially in harm's way, someone decided to, oh no, they're going to get sympathy. Let me say something stupid about it. And deadass rewrote the title. So I'm going to do it again. The other way around. To contradict it years later. Within less than 24 hours, it wasn't 24 hours, someone posted a conspiracy theory about it. Sort of like Alex Jones inventing a bullshit story about how Sandy Hook had to be a false flag within 31 minutes of it happening. He had to be ahead of the game and get everybody on task of what their talking points were so that they could get page views and they could drive traffic to him so he could sell his bullshit supplements. That's actually what happened. It's one of the reasons I got really angry with him. And I do love the fact that the thing that really financially fucked him over and really socially fucked him over to where he can't be rich anymore as much is literally Sandy Hook. He deserves to be punished because of that shit. He's a ghoul. He contributes nothing useful. And he's just as bad as these other people. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And that's the second rant for the day. And I think I'll post this on another channel. Bye.